As the NFL trade deadline on November 5 approaches, the speculation around Matthew Stafford intensifies, with the Los Angeles Rams starting the season at 1-4. There's growing talk that this could be Stafford's final season with the team. The Rams might consider trading him for draft picks, especially if they can't turn their season around. Potential trade scenarios. Contender needs. Currently, no true contenders have an urgent need for a quarterback, but that could change by the deadline. If teams suffer injuries, especially to starting quarterbacks, Stafford could quickly become an attractive option. Vikings connection. The Minnesota Vikings could be a potential landing spot, especially if they struggle in the coming weeks. Head coach Kevin O'Connell, who previously worked with Stafford in LA, might see him as an upgrade if the team falters. Injury-driven moves. The trade landscape can shift dramatically due to injuries. A single season-ending injury to a starting quarterback could trigger a rush for Stafford's services. A historical example is the 2011 trade of Carson Palmer to the Raiders, prompted by an injury to Jason Campbell. Current outlook. The Rams have a crucial few weeks ahead with games that could determine their trajectory. If they can win in weeks 7, 8, and 9, they might choose to keep Stafford and aim for a playoff push. However, if they struggle and lose 2 out of the next 3 games, the pressure to trade Stafford could mount, especially given his status as a top 10 quarterback. Conclusion. With 4 weeks left until the trade deadline, the situation remains fluid. While the Rams could still make a run, the looming possibility of a trade adds an intriguing layer to the upcoming games. Stafford's fate will likely hinge on both his performance and the outcomes of the Rams' next few matchups. North Carolina suffers 4th straight loss in shocking fashion. In a stunning turn of events, the North Carolina Tar Heels lost to Georgia Tech 41-34 after allowing a 68-yard touchdown run with just 16 seconds remaining in the game. This defeat marks UNC's 4th consecutive loss after starting the season with 3 wins. Game recap. After tying the game at 34-34 with 44 seconds left, North Carolina's defense failed to contain Georgia Tech running back Jamal Haynes, who rushed for the decisive touchdown on a play intended to gain just a first down. Georgia Tech dominated on the ground, rushing 48 times for 371 yards and 5 touchdowns. Haynes led the charge with 19 carries for 170 yards, while quarterback Haynes King added 107 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns before leaving with an injury. Defensive struggles. North Carolina's defense, led by former Georgia Tech head coach Jeff Collins, has faced significant challenges this season. The Yellow Jackets exploited these weaknesses, especially on the final drive, which included a first pass attempt from backup QB Zach Pyron before Haynes' run. Coaching concerns. The loss raises serious questions about the future of head coach Mack Brown, especially after a prior loss to James Madison where he suggested he might resign if players lost confidence in his leadership. Since then, the team has struggled, including a disappointing loss to Duke and a recent defeat to Pittsburgh. Georgia Tech's momentum. With this victory, Georgia Tech improves to 5-2 and is 1 win away from bowl eligibility. A notable achievement for a program that hasn't reached back-to-back bowl games in a decade. Under head coach Brent Key, the Yellow Jackets are making significant strides after a tough few seasons. The Tar Heels now face an uphill battle to turn their season around as they look to address their defensive issues and regain momentum. Jordan Lewis and George Pickens fined for final play incident. In the aftermath of the Cowboys vs. Steelers game, both Jordan Lewis and George Pickens have received fines from the NFL for their actions during the final play. Fines details. George Pickens fined $10.230 for grabbing Lewis' face mask. Jordan Lewis fined $11.255 for taunting Pickens after the play. Eye black controversy. Pickens also attracted attention for a message he wrote on his eye black, "Open fucking always." This message is reportedly a violation of NFL rules against written messages on eye black. While the league has not officially fined him for this, it remains a point of discussion. Pickens defended the use of the message, saying, "It's just eye black," and questioned whether anyone had seen the rule enforced before. Additional fines. Donovan Wilson, Cowboys, fined $11.255 for a late hit during the game. Beanie Bishop, Steelers, fined $4.463 for a face mask penalty. This situation highlights the league's ongoing efforts to enforce player conduct and adhere to rules, especially in high-stakes moments. Cowboys' Jordan Lewis and Steelers' George Pickens fined, following an altercation at the end of the Cowboys vs. Steelers game in Week 5. Both players involved have received fines from the NFL. Incident overview. As the Steelers attempted a series of laterals in a last-ditch effort, Jordan Lewis of the Cowboys secured the loose ball to clinch a 20-17 victory. Following the play, Lewis approached Steelers wide receiver George Pickens, which led to Pickens tugging on Lewis' face mask and pulling him down. Fines imposed. Jordan Lewis, fined $11.255 for taunting. George Pickens, fined $10.230 for the face mask grab. Additional notes. After the game, Lewis was heard commenting on Pickens, saying, "Pittsburgh needs a receiver," and called him weak. In the game, Pickens struggled, recording only 3 receptions for 26 yards, marking a season low. This incident highlights the tension that can arise in close games and the NFL's emphasis on player conduct. Haason Reddick lawsuit update. New York Jets pass rusher Haason Reddick is facing a $1.6 million lawsuit from his former business partner, Micah Khan, amid an ongoing holdout from the team. Reddick, who was traded from the Philadelphia Eagles this offseason, has not yet reported to the Jets, forfeiting significant earnings in the process. Key details. Lawsuit claims. Khan alleges that Reddick has failed to pay him the agreed amount following the sale of Haven Home Health Agency, which Reddick owned but managed through his father and an administrator. Background. In 2021, Reddick contracted Khan for marketing and business development, with an agreement to share half of the sale proceeds if the business was sold. Sale details. The agency was sold for $3.25 million earlier this year. Khan claims he helped improve the company's performance prior to the sale. Threat allegations. Khan alleges that during discussions about the owed payment, Reddick's father brought security to a meeting and made threats regarding Khan's family. Attempts to resolve. Khan's lawyer stated that they sought an amicable resolution but did not succeed. This situation adds another layer of complexity to Reddick's holdout, which has already drawn attention due to its unusual circumstances.